that.
All right, so I'm hoping that everything, I made a PowerPoint, and I'm really hoping that I can handle talking to you guys and doing a PowerPoint at the same time. But I started to think about what kind of things might really be helpful to particularly our newer coaches. I know I've got a lot of veterans on here too, but I'm really hoping it helps your team, and maybe you'll take something away from it too. Tonight I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about the invite, but not just the invite, a little bit more specific about what to do when it seems like the conversation is done and you feel like you wish you could get more out of it, but it's not happening. So I just started to think about, Corey was like, think about what you think your gift is. And I'm like, well, I know I sell a lot of challenge packs. So let me see, what is it that I'm doing that maybe could help other people so that you guys don't have, when you're struggling to hit Success Club, maybe you can try some of these little tips. If nothing else, hopefully it'll just be good reminders. Okay, so I'm going to try to share the screen here. Let me see if I can do it. Okay. Nod your head, Katie, nod your head if you can see my PowerPoint. Okay, good. Yay. You just happen to be the person that popped up, so. All right. So we're going to talk about swallowing your fear, how to invite and follow up like a boss. And I'm going to have this. I'm hoping we can upload this in case you guys want to look at it later. But let me see. Okay, so the number one thing I hear, especially from my team, is inviting is scary. When you do your power of threes, like that's the one that you want to wait. Like, it's not too hard to send some friend requests. It's not too hard to follow up with somebody who maybe is already interested. But the whole conversation starting can be a little scary, but specifically sending an invite is really scary. So I started to think, when you're inviting, ask yourself, what are you afraid of? Like, what's scary? You don't want to be salesy. I've heard, I don't want to offend anybody. Like, what if I say, hey, you want to join a challenge group? And they're like, what? Do you think I'm fat? Do I need to lose weight? What do you mean? You know, you don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. What if they say no? Oh, you know, that's so scary. What if they don't like me anymore? Like, what if I see them out in person and like all they can think about is the fact that you invited them and they never responded, or they did respond and they were like, I don't want to. And then what if you make things awkward? So here's the truth. We're going to cover all these things throughout this call. If you don't want to be salesy, then don't be salesy. I'm going to give you guys some tips on how to not come across as salesy, because honestly, the number one thing that so many people say is, I don't want to be a Beachbody coach because I don't want to sell anything. Which I know from the get-go. Corey, when I first started, she was like, that's like the number one thing we teach is don't. We don't want to come across as we're selling something. So we definitely need to address that. They might say no, but they might say yes. You'll never know, okay? And really, if somebody invited you to a challenge group, would you not like them anymore? I mean, really? Come on, guys. That's not going to happen. They're not going to not like you because you invited them to do something fun. It's like they got an invitation to the party. They might be wondering, why haven't you asked them? And I totally agree. Offending somebody and awkwardness can be valid points, and we're going to discuss those. Okay, how to avoid being salesy. One of the things that I really have learned is that selling a challenge pack or getting somebody to start with you, it takes a long time. So when you first start, you think, well, I'm going to send them an invite, and then they're going to go, oh yeah, I want to know more about it, tell me. And then you'll tell them about it, and they'll say, okay, how do I sign up? And they'll sign up. But we all know that's not what happens. It doesn't work like that. And if you think back to when you first started, how long it took you to actually commit, there are people that I literally have talked to for 6 months, 8 months, 9 months. Some people just really need time to think about it, because honestly, they don't know if they can trust you or trust the product. They don't want to say yes, because what if they say yes and they fail? So it's really bigger than just you. So Here is a not so good example. Okay, if this is what you're doing in your invites, we need to talk about this. Hey, Julie, I just wanted to see if you'd be interested in joining an online fitness support group I run. It costs $140, and you're going to get a fitness plan, an eating plan, and a support group. Let me know if you want more information. Thanks, Jackie. Now, it's nice, it's not rude, but it's not a good invite because you sound like a car salesman. You're trying to sell a product, and that's not what coaching is about. And so I wanted to show you guys, there's so many different things that are not good with that invite. But one of the things I learned in the book, The First Steps of Wealth by Danny Johnson, is she uses an acronym, and it's called FORM. Your first interaction should never be about Beachbody. If the first time you contact somebody, you bring up buying a challenge pack or Shakeology with the intention of you're hoping they're going to buy from you, you've pretty much sealed the deal that they won't. I mean, every once in a while, maybe, but more than likely, they're not going to because you just sound like you're only interested in trying to sell them something, which is what we don't want to do. So you need to show a genuine interest in their life. When you first contact them, your conversation should not be about Beachbody. It should be about them. Like, think about, if you haven't seen them in a long time, what kind of things are you genuinely curious about? Like, if you knew that y'all went to college together, but you don't know what's happened to them since, talk about that and just be honest and say, hey, I hope you don't think it's weird, but I was just thinking about you. I came across your page today and I see that you're living in New York. What took you there? What's up with that? Tell me about it. That should be what you're doing. Being a coach is about connecting with people and really learning about them. And I think that is part of what makes it hard, because you have to be really patient. But it's also part of what makes it so cool, because you get to actually be somebody in their life that adds value, that you get to be somebody that they think positively about, like that you actually genuinely care about them. And that should be what coaching is about. So, form. Inviting is a process. It can take many weeks or months. Show a genuine interest in their life. I do sell a lot of challenge packs, but most of my sales start months before I actually sell them. So if you see, oh my gosh, Jackie hit Success Club 20-something, how is she doing that? Well, it's probably because back in April, I started talking to this person. And now, come October, they're ready to ask me what it is I'm doing, okay? So what is form? Form is family, occupation, recreation, and then your message. Meaning, do you know about their family? Do you know what they do for a living? Do you know something they enjoy doing besides, finding out about a challenge pack? Then you can approach them with the message of health, wellness, fitness, nutrition. If you have challengers and you don't know these basic things about them, then you're too sales-oriented. And I hope that doesn't hurt your feelings, because it kind of kicks me in the belly too sometimes. You need to know more about your challengers than just that they need to lose weight. You need to know, what are their kids' names? What do they do for a living? How can you really help them and be a support to them if all you've done is connect them with buying a product? That's not what coaching is about. Okay. What if Beachbody never comes up? And a lot of times it doesn't. And for me, I probably do have a little bit of a leeway on that, because I've lost 100 pounds and I've been heavy like as a teenager in college through my adulthood. So most people, when they see me, they're going to definitely notice that I have lost weight. But for a lot of you, if you lost baby weight, or you've lost 30 pounds, or you were thin the last time you saw them, it may not come up, and that's okay. But you need to remember them and, make an interaction with them. And then, like Corey has suggested, put them in a bucket. And if you don't know what that means, listen to last week's call of a potential customer and make sure that you are visible on their page, that when they're posting about taking their 2-year-old to the pumpkin patch, you comment on that. And when they ask for prayers because their grandmother's in the hospital, you comment on that, but you don't just comment on it, you really do pray for them, and you really are somebody who wants to connect with them and help them and be a part of their life, and not just, I better like it so they know that I want to sell them. When I do want to sell them something, they'll go, oh yeah, she likes my post, I should talk to her. Okay, if you are consistently posting about your journey, then they are going to know that you are the person to help them when they are ready. Okay, so when they're ready, when they wake up and they open their closet and they can't find anything that doesn't make them feel miserable, you want them to think of you. So make sure that if you're not posting on Sunday nights, if you're not posting helpful recipes every once in a while, if you're not posting every once in a while about your workouts, remember the 80-20 rule. You don't want to completely cover everything in Beachbody, but they need to know that if they're interested, you are somebody that they should contact. And then, sorry, my screen is covering and I can't see everything I have here. When you do have a conversation with them, try to get something from them that you can check back on them later on. So let me show you what I mean by that. And I got somebody that's not muted, so if we can get that muted, I keep hearing clicking on the keyboard. If you haven't muted your lines, make sure to do that, guys. Makes it real hard for the rest of us to hear. Okay, here's an example. Actually, seriously, I copied and pasted this from a potential challenger that I had. So I thought this might be helpful for you guys to actually see what they say and how I handle that. Because I know y'all are getting responses from people that you don't know what to do. Okay, so this potential challenger, actually, somewhere in the conversation, I don't remember if I had invited her or what, but we were actually talking and she was interested in a challenge pack. And I really did think she was going to purchase a challenge pack. So she says, hey, Jackie, I think for right now, I'm just going to stick with what I'm doing. It seems to be working, and why fix it if it's not broke, right? I appreciate it, though. When do you leave for your trip? This actually happened right before I went to Summit, so she was asking me about Summit. My response, bummer, I just remember, so I stick something in there to go, I know you want to do it alone, but just remember what you're going to be getting if you do it with me. Just remember you can't get the nutritional effects of Shakeology on your own, and I really attribute it to, and like, I'm looking at this, I should have read it more carefully, sorry, there's typos, to being able to fight cravings and keep going. I hit a huge milestone today and I finally crossed 100 pounds. I do understand, but I promise the benefits of this product program are better than anything else I have ever done. Now, I could have ended it there, but she asked me a question, so I wanted to make sure that it kept the conversation going. My flight is at 6 a.m. out of Hobby on Thursday, so I'm driving down on Wednesday and I am so excited. Okay, so she then responds, congratulations, that's amazing. I know you're going to enjoy the trip. What will Dustin and the kids do without you? There was some more interaction there. I didn't copy and paste all of it, but I just said, haha, Dustin keeps asking me if I got Mason a ticket for the airplane. He will be fine, but I think everyone's a little nervous about what they will do without mom. So I just want you to see, like, she's told me no, but I don't make it weird. Like, I kept the conversation going and let her know, like, hey, the only reason I'm here is not to sell you something. I'd love to keep talking, right? If you don't mind, here's the trick, guys. Here's the important part. If you don't mind, I would love to check in on you in a few weeks to see how things are going. Does that sound good? Okay, now, she then responds with, sure, I love it. Right? But do you really think that she thinks I'm going to actually remember to check back in on her? Probably not. But as soon as that conversation was over, I got my calendar out and I wrote her name down 30 days from the day we talked. And 30 days from that time, I sent her a message. And I said, hey, so-and-so, just checking in on you. I hope you're still doing a great job reaching your goals. How are things going? I'd love to hear about your progress. That's all I did, right? Now, she responds. Sometimes in these situations, they respond and go, I've totally not done anything. I'm so bummed. I should have said yes last month. Can you tell me more? And sometimes they say, I'm doing great, thanks for checking in on me. And, you know, I get the hint, like, oh, okay, good. All right, good thing. Now, I'll still keep checking in on them. I might wait 4 weeks or 6 weeks, but I'm going to write their name down because they are a potential challenger. And I'm going to keep checking in on them. And I don't want them to think that the only reason I was talking to them was to sell them something. And you know what? If I never sell them anything, that's okay. Sometimes they'll ask me for a recipe. Sometimes they'll follow me on my like page. I just want to create relationship with them. Okay. And if y'all are talking right now, I'm not seeing any of this. So I hope none of y'all are asking me like a million questions. I'll check them in just a minute, I promise. I'm almost done. What if they contact me and say this? I want to know how much it costs to do your program, or how much is the 21-day fix? Like, how many of us get that? Tell me how much it costs. That's all I want to know. If you answer that question right away by saying, well, the challenge pack is $140 and it's on sale until the end of October, you sound salesy. Don't do that. Your potential challenger has no idea what they are getting if you just respond with a number. So I'm attaching what I would say in this situation, which I do believe I stole from Corey, and I've tweaked over the last year or so. And so some of you guys are probably totally aware that Corey has lots of scripts, but our team has gotten so big and our team page is so busy. And then I know I have my own team page, so my team has to check my page and the Arete page, and so I know it's easy to miss. So I hope this isn't just like, ugh, we already know this. But so when they ask you about cost, here's what I would say. And you guys will have access to all of this. So you're more than welcome to take whatever I post. Lord knows I stole some of it too. So so I got a message from a lady named Lori on Sunday night that said, how much is the 21-day fix? How much does that cost? Number one thing, I never, ever, ever just talk about the 21-day fix, ever. People all the time go, well, all anybody wants to buy from me is just the program and not Shakeology. I don't even give that as an option, ever, ever. So if they ask specifically, I'll tell them, but I will highly discourage them from just buying the fix. And I'll tell them, I have maybe 3 or 4 people who've done that and they quit. You have to, it's just a piece of the puzzle. You have to have all the pieces. Okay, sorry. So, hi, Lori. I'm so excited to hear from you. Do you notice I didn't go straight into, well, here's how much it costs. I have really loved seeing the pictures of your sweet boy on Facebook. He looks like he really enjoys being outside with your cows. Okay, so she knows that I'm checking her page out, that I know who she is. I really don't know who this lady is. I actually have never even met her in person. We're just friends because we live in the same town. Okay, so there you go. But I make a connection with her. I'd love to give you information about price, but the price varies on the program, and I want to make sure we get you on the right program. Guys, this is not a one-size-fits-all, and you don't want your challengers to think that you're just going to stick them in somewhere. So you have to ask questions and get to know them so that you'll make sure that they're getting what they need. Now, what is the program that I 9 out of 10 times push? It's the fix, but that's because I know out of all the programs I did, it was the one that made the biggest change for me. And for me, the nutritional support cannot be matched with any other program. So I like to start them there. But I generally will give more than one option, but the fix is generally the one that everybody starts with. So I'm not going to read this whole thing to you guys, but I tell her that we need to find her the right program. I tell her a snippet of my story. It's just that little short paragraph. And then the rest of this right here, I copied and pasted, I know from Corey about, here are the details of our challenge groups. So you guys can see all of that. And then I end the conversation, which also is stolen from Corey's script, if you guys hadn't seen it. But it asks her questions. So like, what's your biggest struggle? Nutrition, time, stress. Do you have exercises you enjoy? If so, what type? What would you say your overall goal is? You don't have to answer all of these things, but of course, the more I know, the more I can help. So this is how I get them talking. If all they care about is price, Sometimes, you know, I'll send that and I won't get a response, and that's okay. I put her in my bucket of potential customers and I check in on her. But generally when they ask about price and you ask these questions, they respond back. I would say most of the time they do. So final thoughts. When it seems quiet, things are building momentum. You have to keep going. Be the person on Facebook that makes people want to read about you. Make them chuckle, reflect, learn, and generally smile. Inspire them, guys. Keep them hooked into your story that they want to come see, that you're not just posting pictures of autumn calabrese on your news feed. That makes no connection with them. You want them to feel like they know you and that they can trust you with something that's deeply personal, which is their problem with food or nutrition or how they feel about themselves. So that's who you're being when you're a Beachbody coach. I learned this, I love this saying, y'all. Don't let someone's future get stuck in your mouth. Don't be so afraid to invite that you are keeping somebody from getting what we have. Like if Corey did not invite me, guys, I would still be 250 pounds. I would still have fibromyalgia symptoms. I would be on blood pressure medication. I would feel horrible about myself. I would have had to go back to work as a teacher because I wouldn't be making any income. All because she didn't invite. What if that's you and you're too afraid to ask? They might say no, but you might be the person who totally turns their life around. One day, when someone on your newsfeed wakes up ready for change, you should be the first person that pops in their head. Not because you have a great picture of Shakeology or 21 Day Fix containers on your newsfeed every Sunday night, but because anytime they read your post, you are encouraging, you are real, you are supportive, and you're a light to your community. When they think of you, they think of positivity and adding value. And then Tracy Morrow said this last quote at Summit, and it's something that has stuck with me. If you care more about people than product, you will be unusually successful. If you take your focus off of Shakeology and you put it on that person who needs help, you're going to be unusually successful, and people are going to see that in everything that you are doing. So, okay, that is the end of my PowerPoint. Let me get back to where you guys are. I have no idea how long that took. I think we're almost out of time. Okay. So yeah, questions about the bucket. The bucket is just like making a little friends group, and you can name it. So I have a friends group called My Coaches, and that only has the people on my downline, so that I can really easily go click on that and I can see everything they've posted for the day. But yes, definitely check out the recording from last week, and that is all. Corey goes through all of that and how we did all of it. I'm trying to get you guys back up. I don't need to share my screen anymore. Your screen sharing is paused. I'm sorry, you guys. I'm really trying not to be that person that has no clue what she's doing. Okay, I'm back. All right. Anything that you guys are wondering? Any questions? If you want to unmute and ask a question, anything. Thanks, Dana. You're so cute. Oh, sorry. Was it 2 weeks ago, Corey? I apologize. I don't know why I was thinking it was last week. Let me make sure that I didn't miss anything. Yes, Corey says they're not good challengers until they commit anyways. I cannot tell you how many people I have signed up, and honestly, from the get-go, I kind of knew. But you guys have had, and if you have it, you will. You'll have people who contact you and they buy a challenge pack, and then they will never respond to you again. Like literally, you'll put them in the group and they will never post and they will never answer you. And sometimes they return, which is so frustrating. But yes, you definitely want to make sure that you know, you don't just sell them something, you tell them like, hey, you have a commitment in this. This is not me dragging you. You want to be in on it. So definitely. Oh, thanks, Erica. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Okay, any other questions? I don't know that that was really a question. I hope that was helpful. I think that was all. All right, good. You guys go enjoy your family, and thanks so much for showing up. And thanks, Michelle. And y'all have a blessed evening. Talk to you later.